Hi, hello, and good morning. The pre-show audio flying at you right now. I'm Steve Lindell from Studio B. You can follow the YouTube channel, youtube.com. Here's the show.
Now, new, live, and local, and every weekday from 8 to 9 a.m. This is the show talking about what you want to know, what you need to know, and part of Woof Boom Radio's mission to use our voice to build our community. The all-new Delaware County Today, presented by Muncie Community Schools. Now on WMUN, the Talk of Muncie. Here's your host, Director of News Operations and lead morning anchor, Steve Lindell.
Thank you, Tom Campbell. People are talking about the weather. Paul Poteet is as well. Will we have the tennis match today? We're talking about that. Mayor spoke over the weekend. You're going to hear him at 8:30 this morning. City Council was in session Muncie last night. We have some highlights later in the hour as well. Hi, hello, and good morning. It is May the 5th, Cinco de Mayo. There's actually some history lesson about what this day really means inside our news summary, which will air in just a little while, but we must always begin with the weather. We get that from what I call our weather buddy, meteorologist Paul Poteet.
Good morning. It was nice to hit the mid-70s yesterday, but I'm afraid that's not happening again for the rest of the work week. Today, the high temperature will come in the morning. A cold front will arrive mid-morning, and then we'll fall into the 50s this afternoon. Showers will be around. We might have some thunder. There's no severe weather threat anymore. We'll fall into the 50s and then keep on falling down to 43 overnight tonight. Still some showers in place. For tomorrow, partly sunny. We'll probably have a cloudier period in the afternoon, Wednesday 58, but then it clears out Wednesday night and it falls to 38 degrees. Thursday, mostly sunny, 56, and Friday back to 63 with showers in the afternoon and evening. 50-50 on the weekend. Saturday is going to be partly sunny, pretty nice, high around 70. And then Sunday, periods of showers and, again, maybe some thunderstorms, high of 66. The long-range trends for the second half of May are looking warmer than average. That's WMUN Muncie weather. And now back to Steve.
Thank you, Paul Poteet, meteorologist in charge of the Muncie and beyond weather forecast. Hello and good morning to Portland, Oregon. Sister Sherry Left Coast, I saw you there on the map. Mama in Minnesota listening as always, coffee in hand, crossword puzzle soon to begin. Roger, hello to you too. South Bend, Indiana was on a little earlier. Louisville, Kentucky, Trenton, Florida. I bet it's warmer there. California, a whole bevy of listeners on the Alexa devices. Santa Rosa, Long Beach, Rancho something. I don't want to pronounce the second word incorrectly. La Mesa was listening a little while ago too. All of you want to catch up on what's happening around Muncie, Indiana on this primary election day. Tomorrow morning at this time, by the way, I will be honored to have Dr. Chad Kinsella, invited guest, right here into Studio B to review what happened during the primary elections, which are underway right now. Polls are open until 6 p.m. Now on to our news summary. These stories are all viewable on woofboomnews.com every day, plus on the radio now from WMUN. Today's primary election day in Indiana. Polls open 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. with the new vote centers being used in Delaware County. Registered voters can vote at any polling location with valid ID.
On Monday afternoon, the Board of Directors for the Indiana High School Athletic Association voted down a 35-second shot clock proposal. The decision was based on the majority of school administrators opposing the measure during meetings that were held throughout the state. But there was an IBCA survey showing that nearly 70% of coaches supported it. John Herbeck, Network Indiana.
As Marion police move forward with charges against 4 middle schoolers in a viral assault, local educators are speaking out.
The footage was unsettling for many, highlighting the young age of the students involved and the aggressive nature of the language used. According to one local educator, the behavior seen in the video reflects a broader, more complex struggle with identity that many adolescents are facing today.
It's a degradation. It's a lack of respect. It's a lack of accountability. And unfortunately, there's a lack of repercussions when they actually do stuff. But I do kind of say it's the, pop culture, some of the things they force feed us.
Teachers also say social media is feeding a lack of respect and accountability, leading to more violent outbursts. Jeanette Cruz, Network Indiana.
Delta's still celebrating its first boys golf Delaware County Championship since 2017. They outpaced Yorktown by 7 strokes and snapped the rival Tigers' streak of 7 straight county golf championships. Anderson Christian Center Executive Director Rob Spaulding provided some eye-opening numbers during a recent appearance on the radio that illuminates the importance of youth sports.
If you're involved in youth sports, you're 15% more likely to go to college. You're a third less likely to get into trouble. There's just a lot of
keeping busy after school.
Oh yeah, and it's just being engaged in other things that it leads to.
Will it be Sparks or King on the Republican side, and which one of 7 Democrats will take the winner on in the 5th Congressional District? Today is primary election day in Indiana. Polls open 6 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Project Freedom is a defensive operation, CENTCOM Commander Admiral Brad Cooper says, to protect commercial ships through the Strait of Hormuz.
My operational assessment overall is that the U.S. military has the clear advantage. We have an enormous amount of capability and firepower concentrated in and around the strait.
In the first day of the operation, CENTCOM says several small Iranian fast boats threatening commercial vessels were eliminated. The operation includes U.S. warships, dozens of land and sea-based aircraft, unmanned drones, and 15,000 service members. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
A man was shot near Castleton Square Mall on Sunday night.
Indianapolis cops were called to the Chiancotti Roll Lounge just after 8:30. Captain Richard Ray, speaking to reporters, talks about the area where the shooting happened.
As far as Castleton is concerned, it's a safe area of our city where people come to do business on a regular basis. It's a shame at this time.
And police haven't talked about any arrests. Jake McDaniel, Network Indiana.
Work has started on schedule for the first of 2 planned Madison County anchor parks. The Herald Bulletin confirmed last week clearing of debris and retention pond work has begun on the site at Layton Road and A Street Road.
Cinco de Mayo, which means the 5th of May, celebrates the victory of the Mexican army over France at the Battle of Puebla during the Franco-Mexican War in 1862. Many people outside Mexico mistakenly believe that Cinco de Mayo is a celebration of Mexican independence. Independence Day in Mexico is commemorated on September 16th. Tanya J. Powers, Fox News.
The annual native plant sale is one of Mound State Park's biggest fundraisers. Park manager Patrick Holter says the May 9 sale will include something new, morel mushrooms.
And a supplier out of Oregon that will fly them in for us and we can sell them. And so, we're going to have a mushroom sale this year. It'll be $50 for a half pound of morel mushrooms, $100 a pound.
Today's primary election day in Indiana. Polls open 6 to 6. Several Madison County races are hotly contested, including the county sheriff's job. An 11-year-old shocked the Indianapolis mini marathon field,
finishing the half marathon in a remarkably fast time of 1 hour, 20 minutes, and 14 seconds. Running in a family outing that quickly turned into a headline moment. He not only impressed spectators, but he also outpaced his father along the way, becoming one of the most talked about participants of the event. Renuka Bachpai, Network, Indiana.
Indiana voters head to primary polls under existing U.S. congressional district maps after some Republican state senators voted last year with Democrats to block President Trump's redistricting efforts. 7 of them now have President Trump-backed primary challengers in districts the president carried in 2024 by double digits, including in Indiana District 21, where Republican Tracy Powell is running to replace State Senator Jim Buck, who has the backing of the president's former vice president, Mike Pence. Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
Monday's showing of Click Clack Moo completed the season's field trip slate for the Paramount Theater. Executive Director Rich Jorn said those events are among the highlights every year.
It's always a great time to have kids in the theater. They pay attention. They love the shows. They cheer. They They clap, they laugh. It's a great experience.
Muncie's Innovation Connector is a tool for small businesses which provide the beating heart of America. CEO Ted Baker explained the organization's mission.
We often think of the Innovation Connector as not just a space, right? But it's a pipeline system that intentionally moves entrepreneurs through stages of business development. And that's kind of the big picture of what we do.
By the way, this is Small Business Week. Daleville basketball and track athlete Logan Parker is the most recent winner of Pridemark Construction's Future Leaders of America series. Read all about it on our free MuncieJournal.com. More local every day on our free WolfBoomNews.com. And the news summary now includes the Ball State baseball news. The game today at Purdue has been canceled. Wolfboom Sports Director Kurt Darling got that word yesterday afternoon, so that it's off of our schedule. We had planned to bring you a 5:45 pregame this afternoon. So no Ball State baseball today. We are still awaiting word from Delta and Yorktown with respect to Smash Cancer. They do have a backup plan for today's match that's planned at Yorktown High School. The weather is not conducive as far as the forecast. If it was right now, I suppose, well, the ground's still pretty wet. They'd have to have a dry court in order to make it happen. There are big chances of rain and showers, as you heard from Paul Poteet a little bit ago. We'll tell you when we know more, and that might come during our program live this morning from Studio B on the campus of Wolfboom Radio. Let's get a snapshot of your day today.
It's May 5th, and this is your Fox Daily Snapshot. Today is Cinco de Mayo. The origins of the day go back to the Franco-Mexican War of the 1860s, as 2,000 Mexican soldiers held off 6,000 French soldiers in the Battle of the Puebla in 1861. In the U.S., Cinco de Mayo is celebrated as a day of Mexican-American heritage and pride. Also on this date in 1891, Carnegie Hall in New York City opened for the first time. Peter Tchaikovsky was the guest conductor. The soundtrack to West Side Story went to number 1 on the charts in 1962.
Skyscrapers bloom in America, Cadillacs zoom in America.
The iconic musical would stay at the top spot for 54 weeks. If it's your birthday today, you share it with actor Henry Cavill, born in 1983, and English singer Adele, born in 1988. I'm Tushar Saxena with your Fox Daily Snapshot.
WMUN, News Talk, Sports Talk, Community Talk, the ones that talk to movers and shakers like President Jeffrey Mearns. Those watching on our YouTube video can see a replay of one of his recent appearances in our Zoom room. We will bring you more of the same every day from this place and beyond. We look forward to using our voice to build and connect our community on WMUN and Wolfboom Radio Group. Folks are checking out their cupboards for a brand of trail mix right now.
This is House Call for Health. A snack company is recalling some of one of its products over food allergy risks. The Second Nature Brands company voluntarily calling back certain 10-ounce pouches of its Keto Crunch Smart Mix Trail Mix snacks. The pouches are marked with a best if used by February 12, 2027 date on the backside of the pouch. Packages with other best if used by dates are unaffected by the recall. The affected products may contain cashews, pistachios, and cherries that are not marked in the product contents. The FDA says those contents could cause serious or life-threatening allergic reactions to some consumers who have an allergy or sensitivity to tree nuts or cherries. No illnesses have been reported in connection with the product. Customers who purchased those products should not consume them and can contact Second Nature for a full refund. For more health news, go to foxnewshealth.com. House Call for Health and Lisa Brady. Fox News.
On WMUN 92.5 FM and all the rest. Thanks for listening today and any day, every day. We want to connect you to your community. If we ever are missing something, tell us and we'll tell everybody. Sure, you can email WMUN@wolfboom.com. You can call and leave a voicemail message. It's 289-6397. We might use your voice on the radio. Last night was the regularly scheduled Muncie City Council meeting. We'll bring you a mic drop moment from it. That is next on Delaware County Today from WMUN.
If you're over 40, you've probably felt like this. You're still working, still training, still competing, but your energy drops. And it's harder to stay in shape, even when you're doing the same work. That's not a discipline problem. That's biology. Your body changes. That doesn't mean you have to accept it. I've always believed if you're still putting in the work, you should still be able to perform at a high level. That's why I take M-Drive every day. M-Drive is built for men over 40 to support steady energy without spikes and help your metabolism keep up with the work you're already putting in. No extremes, no shortcuts, just something you could stay consistent with. If you've been feeling that shift, the longer you wait, the harder it gets. Go to mdriveformen.com and use code PRO for 20% off your first order. That's mdriveformen.com, code PRO. mDrive, for men who still show up.
My son loves to fly kites, but my active psoriatic arthritis can sometimes hold me back. Now with Skyrizi to treat my skin and joints, I'm ready to go. Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults, helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi today and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZI to learn more.
Want to hear more? Replays uploaded daily on WMUNmuncie.com. Now back to Delaware County Today with Steve Lindell, presented by Muncie Community Schools.
This morning in the capable hands of Jackson Jacoby, producing in the Axia Command Center. I'm Steve Lindell in Wolf Boom Studio B on the campus of Wolf Boom Radio. 6 formats, 1 mission. We use our voice to build and connect our community. Last night in regular session, the Muncie City Council met. I think it was just a little over an hour in duration, if the clock on the screen was accurate. We're going to bring you now through technological advantages. You can hear, of course, on radio, the original social media. You can see also on our YouTube page. Feel free to follow that page. Sign up, subscribe. There's no cost or charge. It is Wolf Boom Studio B. Wolf Boom Studio B, the name of the channel on the YouTube page. Now, visually, you see the City Council chamber from last night as we bring you the final speaker. This was a community member. They got a chance to come up and talk to the City Council, and he had an interesting comment or two, and I'm going to bring that to you right now.
I'm Neil Kring. I live here in Muncie. I live on the south side of Muncie, and for a job, I work with many of Muncie's unhoused neighbors, as well as many folks who are in substance use, mental health crisis on pretty much a daily basis, both through neighborhood outreach work and through what I do as a neighborhood pastor with Urban Light. And I am concerned at the decision that was made by the mayor to give a piece of property that was designated to be used for behavioral health and substance use related treatment issues to a faith-based organization that is going to be using it for a doctor's office or something like that. We don't even think any of us really know exactly what they'll be doing. But that I do know that their free medical clinic they're doing now is for the people who stay at the mission and for their staff. That's pretty much most of the people who use that. And that will not be a solution to help engage with behavioral health issues and substance use issues in South Muncie. The crisis center, for whatever it was, whatever it wasn't, was actually serving many of the people who were banned from the hub or banned from the Muncie mission, who would spend their days there taking showers, getting help, getting treatment, getting connections to care, and maybe it wasn't operating in such a way that it was sustainable. But we're still kind of back to the same situation we were back in 2021 when our neighbors started organizing. We have a couple members of Activate Avondale here that were a part of that organizing campaign to advocate for services in our neighborhood, to help our neighbors. And it feels like we've taken 5 steps backward, and here we are at the same place. I'm concerned about a public property like that was given to an organization with no process that I am aware of. And if there was a process, that was sort of a under-the-table type of thing that no one got to participate in or understand. Agreed. And but yet this is a big concern for Muncie, to engage with some of these more complicated issues, something a city can do, something that's very difficult for individual people to have to be involved with and come up with solutions for. So, but my house is still the crisis center. Just last week, someone showed up at my house, beating on my door, needing help, with still nowhere to take folks, still nowhere to get the help that folks need. So anyway, that's all I have to say. But I don't even know what I'm asking. I'm just saying I'm pissed. All right.
Thank you. Last night at the city council meeting, from the YouTube page, that was a community member in the comments from the public section at the end of the meeting last night. Shortly after that, they gavelled out, and that was the end of the meeting last night. We bring you highlights and nuggets and news and information, and we love sharing people's thoughts and concerns, and we love also trying to help people bring together solutions as best we can, and again, use these microphones and these cameras to try to get people talking and thinking and working in one same way together. And we appreciate that individual and all the others that got up last night to speak. There were a number of people from the community that were bringing up a lot of information about events and so forth that I wasn't aware of. So that was good to learn as well. My beautiful wife Nancy and I were watching the live feed, which you can do too. It is there, available, and for you to be connected and stay aware of your community. The big story this morning, of course, as we have covered incessantly, is vote centers, the new Delaware County way to vote. It's the same as it ever was, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. The polling places are open. And on our socials again this morning, for the umpteenth time, we have posted a link to an exceedingly helpful kind of a tracker finder location thing, not the official name, for you to find where the nearest vote center is, to where you are. If you have your geolocation on your cell phone, you literally can punch into that shortcut and let it help you find which place is closest to you, where you are at that moment. You don't have to go to the place that's closest to your house anymore. The precinct that you have been voting in for a long time is not necessarily the place that you will go. We have heard from the county clerk. We've actually interviewed some time ago Rick on this program. We even heard from the Secretary of State. That was on the yesterday program here on WMUN, and many others. Even the League of Women Voters, a guest from this studio as well. To get people trained up, change is difficult for anybody and everybody. I totally get it. So we want for you to get out and vote and make certain that you are doing so today before 6 p.m. Steve Lindell live in our Studio B for Wolf Boom Radio's Delaware County Today, with more in a moment, including a rare Sunday social media post by the mayor of Muncie. That is directly next here on WMUN.
Too many families face a widening gap between what they can afford and what they need to thrive. More than half of families in the U.S. today are one paycheck away from financial crisis. At Good 360, we deliver hope when families need it most, providing essentials like clothing, hygiene items, and household goods. Put help within reach. Learn more at good360.org.
The playoffs are in full force, and you can trade every game and series on Kalshi. New York is trading at 5% to win the finals. That means a $100 trade pays out $1,870 if they win it all. On Kalshi, you're trading against other people in a live market. That means no house and no odds makers. And as the odds move, you can buy in or out anytime throughout the postseason. For a limited time, download the Kalshi app, use code PROVE to get $10 when you trade 10. Kalshi, Kalshi. Trade on anything.
Here in Muncie, we know what it means to show up for one another. We celebrate our wins, big and small. And when times get tough, we lean in, not away. At WMUN, we're more than just a voice on the radio. We are your neighbor, your friend, your connection to what matters most. Every morning, we wake up with you, sharing the stories of our city, highlighting the heroes you don't always hear about, and cheering on the teams that carry our hopes on their shoulders. This isn't just news and sports. This is home. From the streets of downtown to the heart of Delaware County, we're here because you're here. Thanks for letting WMUN be part of your day. We're proud to be your hometown station.
As you know, managing maintenance, repair, and operations is never easy. But for the ones who always rise to the challenge, Grainger has your back. From professional-grade products you can count on to fast, dependable delivery, they're there to help you keep things running smoothly. Plus, their technical product specialists are here to help answer your toughest questions. And because Grainger knows safety is always a priority, they're committed to being your partner in protecting both your people and your facilities. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by.
Too many families face a widening gap between what they can afford and what they need to thrive. More than half of families in the U.S. today are one paycheck away from financial crisis. At Good 360, we deliver hope when families need it most, providing essentials like clothing, hygiene items, and household goods. Put help within reach. Learn more at good360.org.
Live, weekdays from 8 to 9 a.m. with replays later. This is the Daily Delaware County Today with Steve Lindell.
Tom Campbell, the voice of the radio station WMUN. His centennial moments are being featured on this radio station, too, as we celebrate 100 years of service. This is WMUN. Now, my hair may look like I've been around for 100 years. I have not been here the whole time. I'm Steve Lindell. Good morning to you from Studio B on the campus of Woof Boom Radio, as we are now done with the commercial break, but we certainly do have the YouTube page that is titled Woof Boom Studio B. Follow that, get updates, and find out more about your community. Now, for those of you that are watching the YouTube replay, you're seeing the screen of a Sunday post by the mayor of Muncie that we bring you now this morning on WMUN. News talk, sports talk, community talk. We are the talk radio of Muncie. And this is the mayor from Sunday.
Hello, Muncie. Dan Ridenauer here. I wanted to give a quick update. I'm going to just touch base on some of the financial details of Senate Enrolled Act 1. I have always called it Senate Bill 1. It's one that impacted the property taxes that go to cities and also impacts how the income tax works. And we're starting to feel those. We had the first impact of that was we have a 1.1-ish million reduction in our 2026 budget in property tax revenues because of this. And we were able to make some cuts. And some of the things that we did is I started taking money from the edit funds, and I reduced the activities that we fund in the edit. which are a number of different things, but I reduced some of those funds and I moved them over to the general fund to help fund that. And I'm doing that not only in 26, but in 27. The challenge is every year,
This is Inside Indiana Business Radio. I'm Gary Dick. Indianapolis International Airport is adding JetBlue to its roster of airlines starting November 2nd with a once daily nonstop flight to Fort Lauderdale via Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport. The airport says the new nonstop will also give travelers multiple connections to Caribbean destinations. The all-new IndyCar chassis that will be in play for the 2028 season is again being designed and built by Italy's Delaware, the series' exclusive chassis supplier, but much of the work is being done in Indianapolis, says IMS President Doug Bowles.
A lot of the car was already built here, but more of the car will now be built here in Indianapolis, which will really be nice. So it's an Italian car, obviously, but a lot of it now is going to be built here, which really connects us further. You know, the racing capital of the world, we need those cars built right here.
Columbus-based Cummins is closing its Whitestown distribution site and terminating about 59 employees, all part of a consolidation effort. You're listening to Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Today, you either innovate or evaporate. We are accelerating the pursuit of progress, from the foods we eat to the heights we soar, because this is Indiana, the innovation capital of the world. We rally visionaries across industries, invest in connections as much as capital, and fuel our founders from dorm room to boardroom. Fuel your innovation with Elevate Ventures. Visit elevateventures.com.
We build Indiana. The Laborers International Union of North America are men and women building roads and bridges to get Hoosiers where they're going today and a new energy infrastructure that will keep Indiana competitive tomorrow. LIUNA's over 12,000 statewide members also grow local economies, earning good union wages, shopping where they live and work, and paying taxes. We build Indiana for good jobs and stronger communities. The Laborers International Union of North America. We are LIUNA.
Every hour of every day, Fox News Radio is there with the latest breaking news and information you rely on.
This is a Fox News Alert.
I'm Lisa Brady.
I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
With Fox News correspondents around the globe.
At the White House, Simon Owen in London.
On Capitol Hill, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
The news that matters most to you. The top headlines, all in one place. America is listening to Fox News Radio.
Updates hourly on the Talk of Muncie, the new WMUN.
Thinking about buying a used car? Get the facts before you make an offer or agree to buy. For free. The Indiana Secretary of State's office is helping to protect Hoosier consumers by offering free AutoCheck vehicle history reports. Access reports to check for accidents, true ownership, clear title, liens, odometer rollbacks, recalls, and more. Visit sos.in.gov for your free vehicle report. This message is sponsored by your Indiana Secretary of State.
Listen to Delaware County Today on Alexa. Just enable the skill, then say, Alexa, play WMUN. Now back to Steve Lindell.
All right, clearly operator error on my part. Sheesh. This will be a bit redundant now, but we're going to bring back the mayor right now. I don't know what portion of the audio and the video dove out. Is that a proper way to say that? So we want to bring back the entire message. Again, this is from the Sunday Post from the mayor of Muncie, Indiana, from a Facebook social media briefing.
Give a quick update. I'm going to just touch base on some of the financial details of Senate Enrolled Act 1. I have always called it Senate Bill 1. It's one that impacted the property taxes that go to cities and also impacts how the income tax works. And we're starting to feel those. We had the first impact of that was we have a 1.1-ish million reduction in our 2026 budget in property tax revenues because of this. And we were able to make some cuts. And some of the things that we did is I started taking money from the edit funds, and I reduced the activities that we fund in the edit. which are a number of different things, but I reduced some of those funds and I moved them over to the general fund to help fund that. And I'm doing that not only in 26, but in 27. The challenge is every year we're going to see less and less property tax revenue. And so everybody in the public will eventually see property tax revenue, their property taxes go down. I don't know that everybody saw that this year. I know I personally didn't. But those property taxes by 2032 will be about 1/3 of what somebody is paying today if the assessments were the same. So that impacts cities, it impacts schools, and I just kind of wanted to touch base. We've had to make some adjustments last year. We're going to have to make more this coming year. We think it'll be sizable again, similar to the amounts from last year. And so we've got to come up with ways to fund that, and the best way to fund that difference is from the edit funds. So we're going to continue to reduce those edit funds down until they go away. What a lot of people don't know for certain is that the edit funds do not exist starting in 2029. So the edit funds are here for 26, 27, 28, but in 2029 the edit funds do not even exist. Which is a little alarming, very alarming for a lot of organizations. This year, we're doing over $1 million to nonprofits. Those funds will not even be available in the budget in 2029 unless the legislature goes in and adjusts things. One of the first adjustments I know we are making in our budget so that we can continue to perform the services that the citizens want, and this would be roads, streets, public safety, animal shelter, all those other services. In order to maintain that, we've got to cut. And in order to cut this coming year, we've got to make some tough choices. One of the very first ones that we've made a decision to not do in 27 will be the Crisis Center. Currently, the Crisis Center is several $100,000 a year. We're funding that using ARPA funds. When those run out, it's edit funds, but I cannot consciously commit edit fund dollars to that when I know the general fund is going to be dropping due to the property taxes from Senate Bill 1. I've got to help make that up. And so rather than put us on the hook for another year, another 2 years with the Crisis Center, we're making one of those difficult cuts. And that cut will help us shorten that amount that we need to have to solve the Senate Bill 1 challenges that we're going to be faced. We're going to have other challenges in the future. But this will cover probably close to half of what we anticipate the property taxes will go down. Fortunately, there are other agencies that are saying that they can step in and they can provide some other services, but we're in a situation where we've got to start making those difficult cuts, and we'll get through it. But we're not going to drop our services on public safety. And we're certainly not wanting to cut back on parks or streets or anything else that we view as important to the citizens. So we're doing what we can. I just kind of want to let people know that edit is making up that difference right now, and in 2029, edit will not exist. But we're gradually working our way down, putting more money into the general fund and helping make sure all those services survive. So hopefully that explains a little bit. I know it's kind of math that some people maybe are not super interested in, but know that we're following the new laws that were put out, and unless the legislature changes those laws, that this will be the first big cut that we've made in something that we have been doing, but we know we cannot continue. So thank you so much, and hope you have a great weekend.
We have Muncie Mayor Dan Ridenour there from a Sunday social media post. Rare that he would put one up over the weekend. He's obviously got a lot of things going on with his recent announcement about his prostate cancer diagnosis and impending surgery. We've heard nothing new about that since then, by the way, but we'll continue updating you as we find out more and as he shares more as well. Steve Lindell, WMUN, talking about what people are talking about in Muncie, Delaware County. Next item this morning, how about an update? Washington, D.C. crime update.
This is Fox on Justice. The nation's capital seeing a sharp decrease in crime over the past year after President Trump deployed the National Guard and as the country gets ready to celebrate its 250th birthday. Here are the numbers. A 52% drop in homicide, robbery down 23%, and a 56% decrease in motor vehicle theft. Officials say one area of concern, a spate of brawls in the city known as teen takeovers. Trump's U.S. Attorney in D.C., Jeanine Pirro, said many teens need to be treated like adults.
The problem is that they don't believe that these young people need to be treated as criminals. They are committing adult crimes.
The decrease in crime follows a nationwide trend since President Trump returned to office. The murder rate is now the lowest since 1900. President Trump says the reduction in crime is largely thanks to his border policies. Lucas Tomlinson, Fox News.
On WMUN from Studio B on the campus of Woof Boom Radio, we are live local, even here with mistakes that I make. Sheesh. And they were heard worldwide, including in Nanjing, China. You can see that on the video feed right now, the feed coming in on your screen showing all those little dots at 8:45 in the morning, local time, Muncie, Indiana, USA, as we are heard on 92.5 FM and 1340 AM, far more widely as far as numbers are concerned, but we have the ability for you to listen on the stream, of course, because it is critical and important. Again, not to be redundant, and people tune in and tune out all the time, so we want to make sure that you are knowing about the primary election today in Indiana and Ohio, neighboring state, looking for a new governor as theirs is term limited out of seeking re-election. And we'll have coverage not only on the national side from Fox News reporting, statewide coverage from Network Indiana, and locally, right here with yours truly, we'll have updates on the social medias. We'll break in on radio as need be. And then, of course, tomorrow morning, we'll really go into detail about who advanced and who did not. More importantly, who did advance to the general election in November. Some of those primary races are uncontested as far as the D or the R side of the ticket. Some are widely contested, and we will certainly have some reporting to do at the end of the night and certainly tomorrow morning. Chad Kinsella is our friend from Ball State University. He has been a guest of ours before by invitation and will be tomorrow right after 8 a.m. here on WMUN's Delaware County Today, reviewing what by then has transpired and those vote centers, too, new for Delaware County. Remember, you don't automatically go to the same polling location that you've gone to for years. There are 26 of them, and you can find the location nearest to you a lot of different ways. State of Indiana website, the Secretary of State, Diego Morales, told us that again yesterday right here on this radio station. And there is also a very easy-to-use app, a shortcut that we've put on our socials again this morning. It'll even use the geolocation device on your cellular to help you find the one that's closest to you at the moment that you're clicking in and clicking on. Remember, you do not have to go to any particular vote center. You can go to the one that's closest and most convenient for you, just as long as it is before 6 p.m. local time today, May 5, 2026. Next item this morning, it's time to get ticked off about Lyme disease.
Take a pause.
Nasty ticks carrying Lyme disease are expected in big numbers this year for much of the U.S. because it was a warm winter. That's got vets warning you have to look out for them on you and on your animals.
There are antibiotics that are effective for treating Lyme disease, but I want to put a caveat on there. It's not 100%.
Dr. Michael Bailey of the American Veterinary Medical Association says if one of your creatures gets bitten, you have to get to a vet. Watch for
fever, loss of appetite, decreased activity, and lethargy, all those things that say, something's not going on right with Fluffy.
Flea and tick preventatives can help prevent bites, and you can supercharge your pooch against ticks.
The best way of trying to nip this in the butt is to for your dog is to get them vaccinated beforehand.
That vaccine's only available for dogs, not cats, horses, or people. Take a pause. Jill Nato, Fox News.
Did he say nip it in the bud or something else? I'm not sure. I know this. Our WMUN word of the day is fulvous. Fulvous. Thank you, Nancy, for finding this at a garage sale. The word of the day calendar, President Mearns asked for it to come back. Fulvous is of a dull brownish yellow, tawny color, I guess. All right, you use that in a sentence today and impress your friends and or your neighbors. I don't know if I can. I'll try. Next item this morning, many on Capitol Hill are calling for the filibuster to be eliminated.
I'm Chad Pergram with the Speaker's Lobby. The hardest thing in the Senate in order to pass a bill is to command 60 votes, often to clear not one but two filibusters. That's why both parties are increasingly turning to a special tool known as budget reconciliation to pass major legislation. There's a catch. Debate is limited, but you never have to get 60 votes to crack a filibuster. You just need 51 to pass the bill. And items included in reconciliation must be budget neutral, not contributing to the debt over a decade, and also must focus on taxes or fiscal policy. But the over-reliance of the budget reconciliation contrivance frustrates some lawmakers. They believe leaning on budget reconciliation for everything is a legislative crutch. Granted, both sides have used budget reconciliation to pass all sorts of things when they get in a parliamentary pinch and can't break a filibuster. Democrats used reconciliation to pass Obamacare. Republicans used reconciliation for the 2017 tax cut law. And this is why pressure is intensifying to eliminate the filibuster. With the Speaker's Lobby, Chad Pergram, Fox News.
On WMUN, News Talk, Sports Talk, Community Talk, home of Tony Katz today, noon to 3 today. Then at 4 o'clock today, you're going to get the Power Hour with Mark Forster. It is allowed to be on the air because the Ball State baseball game at Purdue has been canceled. Still no word this morning at 8:50 a.m., May 5, about the plans or not for Smash Cancer, the tennis match that is at Yorktown High School. Delta Eagles are there, and our Kim Morris and Gary Joseph are planning to be there to support too. We'll tell you what we know of their plan. This will all be related to the weather, of course, as soon as they tell us. Coach Cleland told me earlier this morning that they had to get the coaches together sometime after school got started, and they'll have a virtual meeting of their own and then determine what their next course of action will or might be. Quick reminder, in Delaware County, the Delaware County Fair Queen Pageant tomorrow, Wednesday, May 6th, is the last day to sign up for that pageant. The meeting's at 7 o'clock at Heartland Hall on the fairgrounds in Muncie, Indiana, USA. Next item this morning, with social media addiction concerns top of mind, some lawmakers at the state and federal level are trying to push legislation to safeguard online risks.
Fox on Tech.
Countries and states are starting to ban social media for young teenagers, and Florida is leading the way. A law there states no middle school student can have a social media account, and high school freshmen or 15-year-olds, they need their parents' permission. Florida Attorney General James Othmeyer says it is time for a national ban.
I hope other states will come along and ultimately that this will get the attention of Congress and that they'll do something too.
But Congress is struggling to make progress on the Kids Online Safety Act. Critics say it violates free speech and privacy rights. New research finds more than half of teens use Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube daily, 1 in 5 almost constantly. That usage often leads to depression, even suicide. It's a big reason why states and even countries are acting fast to ban young teens from socials, from the UK to Spain, France, and Germany. With Fox on Tech, Lauren Simonetti, Fox Business.
On WMUN, now the two veterans honored for their service.
Securing America.
During a Monday ceremony at the Pentagon, Army Major Ryan Reynolds and Air Force Major Edwin Stanfield of the West Virginia National Guard were honored for their actions during a shooting last November in Washington, during which an Afghan national killed one guardsman, Specialist Sarah Beckstrom, and severely injured another, Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf. War Secretary Pete Hegseth.
They neutralized the threat. They moved civilians to safety.
West Virginia Governor Patrick Morrisey added,
when you run to the fire and you put your own life on the line to help one of your colleagues, that's incredible.
The Adjutant General of the West Virginia National Guard, Major General James Seward, summed things up succinctly.
We are so proud of you.
The Soldier's Medal Reynolds received and the Airman's Medal Stanfield received are the highest honors given in non-combat situations. Kevin Uretsky, Fox News.
Steve Lindell realizing right now that I wore a shirt today that is very similar to yesterday's video broadcast from Wolf Boom Studio B, so I'm hoping that people aren't watching this back-to-back and thinking, Steve never changes his clothes. Here, then, is a replay on the wall of that same shirt from Wolf Boom Studio B. For Jackson Jacoby doing a great job today in the Axia Command Center, I'm Steve Lindell. Back again tomorrow morning. Get out and vote till 6 p.m. today, May 5. This is WMUN.